Max Johnston has been called up to the Scotland national team. Now, is this positive or negative for Derby County? Now, we spoke about this a little bit a few days ago in a video all about Derby County and where they need to go and what they need to do over the course of the next few months. But I think this is hugely important news for Derby County, and some news which some fans won't really understand how important this actually is. Now, in an important sense, it's not important because it's a positive for Derby. It's important because it is a negative. And I know a lot of people are going to look at it and go, how is a player being called up for a national team a negative? And that is exactly what we're going to get into in this video. So if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments if you have not done so already. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, but let's get into it. Now, obviously, for Max Johnston to get called up to the Scotland senior team, it shows that he's doing something correctly. Now, many people will think that this is a major positive for Derby County. It shows that we've got quality players within the building, and ultimately, I don't necessarily disagree with that notion. But I also think that there's a negative connotation that comes with this, in my personal opinion. Now, obviously, everyone will have their own opinion, and that is completely fine. I look forward to seeing yours down in the comments. But for me, I think it's a little bit of a negative for Derby. Now, obviously, as we know, it's not been the start to the season that many at Derby County expected or anticipated. And obviously, that has been sort of a negative, really. And that is sort of where this negative comes from in terms of Max Johnston being called up to the senior team. Now, I think it's great that Max Johnston is getting international football and being called up to the squad. But ultimately, one, it opens the door for injury, and two, it opens up that position for him to sort of get less learning. Let's put it that way. He's going to learn less while he's away with Scotland in terms of what Derby County are wanting and trying to do. Now, obviously, you can let me know your thoughts on this down below. But for me, I was really excited for this international break. Not in a sense of the Derby County on the whole, but for a sense of giving Max Johnston a full 2 weeks of, obviously, yes, there'll be days off and things like that, but a full 2 weeks where John Eustace can drill into him exactly what he wants. And that is sort of where I'm at with this, and that is why I believe this is a little bit negative for Derby, because he joined Derby, went straight off to international duty, just like Ben Diaz, and yet again, into this next window, another international duty, which is obviously, it is a positive in the wider picture. It is a positive. Not only will Derby get compensated for him playing for his national team, which I'm pretty sure clubs get compensated for that, but also he goes and plays on the highest level, and that is brilliant to see. But the problem for me does come in that sort of tactical standpoint. I felt on occasion Max Johnston hasn't really known his role at Derby, and I felt like that to be a little bit of an issue across the course of quite a few games for Derby. But I'm not saying he's been a bad player. I just don't think he's hit the heights that we all anticipated. Now, for me, do I think Max Johnston is going to get better? Absolutely. Do I think this 2 weeks is going to make a huge difference in terms of his performance? Of course, it's not going to make a huge difference. But would I have preferred him to spend this 2 weeks with John Eustace and the coaching team rather than away with Scotland? Absolutely. And I think I can say that for every player that's going away with international duty. Sometimes, as much as having international players is brilliant and it brightens the spotlight on the club, it gives those players the opportunity to go and shine on the brightest stage, I just ultimately believe that sometimes it is costly for Derby County, because not only can they go and pick up injuries, but also they miss out on important training sessions. Players come back jet lagged and aren't available at the first available opportunity. Like we play 12:30 on the Saturday, and if I just go and check like Chile and things like that, I'm pretty sure Diaz won't get back till really late. So they play on the 18th of October. Derby County don't have a game that day, do they? Yeah, Derby County play Oxford on the 18th of October, which quite clearly, in my opinion, shows this to be a negative, because Diaz will probably still be with the Chile squad, one would imagine. Now, obviously, I don't know for certain if he'll be there for both games, because I know that on some occasions teams will let players go back to their clubs and things like that. You then go to the USA. They play 2 a.m. our time against Australia on the 15th of October, which means Ajimang at earliest won't get back till Friday, so he probably won't be playing on Saturday. Ibu Adams with, I'm pretty sure, is Ibu Adams with Gambia? Yes, Ibu Adams is with Gambia. They play their game on the 14th, which that's fine. He'll be back on the 16th, which is the Thursday. So that one's fine. So it's one of those for me where you've got to really have those conversations about players moving away. Shall we just go and take a look at Scotland as well, just to see where Max Johnston is actually going to be playing? So Johnston will be fine. Their final game is on Sunday the 12th, so he'll be fine. He'll be back in time. But you look at Ajimang, you look at Ibu Adams, you look at Ben Briatan Diaz, and there's a possibility that those three are going to be unavailable heading into the game against Oxford, which for me, that's a huge problem. We've had this a couple of times in the past with Nathaniel Mendez-Lang when he started playing for Guatemala, where he'd come back from international duty on the Friday afternoon, be in the squad on the Saturday, but quite clearly not be fit and available, if that makes sense. So it's one of those for me which makes it really, really difficult on these international breaks. And for me, I'm never happy during an international break. I think international breaks are really, really frustrating. But it's one of those situations that you just have to deal with. You have to contend with as a fan of football and things like that. Now, unless you're in the lower divisions, most of the time, they don't get an international break. Yes, there's a couple of teams that do. Obviously, we were one of them in League One. But it's that sort of position where obviously football carries on. There's still teams playing in the AFL. There's still teams playing in non-league and things like that. But ultimately, my team isn't playing, and that is frustrating. I like to watch my team playing. When they come out of the international break, I want to see our strongest foot forward. Now, for me, this is a brilliant opportunity, though, for someone along the lines of Lars-Jørgen Salverson, Ryan Brewster, to get themselves in that starting 11 for that game against Oxford, which is going to be huge for Derby County. By no uncertain terms, that is going to be an absolutely massive game. And obviously, you can let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. We are obviously going to keep up to date with all those players that are on international duty. We'll have a video out tomorrow morning discussing those players that are away on international duty, who they're playing against, when they play, and everything like that. So if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Check out the likes of Loaded for your gaming goods. Check out the likes of NordVPN to get your VPN, and Kitbag for all your sporting goods. And if you haven't done so already, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.